guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Sonnet, the owner and creator behind Sonnet's Garden Blooms. I want to thank you all for stopping by. Now, if you are new to my channel, what you're going to find is a lot of DIYs, thrift hauls, thrift flips, really a day in the life of a small business owner. So if that is the type of channel that you do like, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and then turn on your bell notifications. That way every Monday and Friday you'll be notified when I upload a video. Now in today's video, we are doing a thrift to treasure. So I am taking 5 items that I've recently thrifted, or maybe they were in my hoard, a couple of them were, and we are turning them into beautiful treasures. And I cannot wait to hear what you guys all think. For project 1, I thrifted these little glass jars. They look like that faux mercury glass, and I was so excited when I had found them. The one that I had picked initially was completely the look of the mercury, and then after I got the rest home, I realized only half of them had it. So like if you look, there's like a line on each of the jars, and I was really sad about it. So what I decided, I am going to take 3 and I'm going to try to fix the mercury glass. But these 3, I thought I'm going to take them and I am going to paint them white. So I am putting on 2 coats of white swan to all 3. And then I am going to wet distress them to bring back some of that mercury finish underneath and see how that looks. So now that all 3 are completely dry with the 2 coats of DIY's White Swan, I am taking a damp rig and I am wet distressing them. It is the easiest way to distress back any of the clay-based paint of DIY. I just take a damp rig and I rub over all of the raised areas and then just randomly all over the jar. And I really am liking how that bit of silver from that mercury glass full finish is coming through, and I'm going to do that to all 3 jars, let them dry, and then we're going to come back and do the next step. So I use Big Top to seal all of my DIY paint. Big Top is a DIY product, and I apply 1 even coat to the entire piece, and I'm going to do that to all 3 jars, let them dry very thoroughly, and then we're going to add some joy to these. I am using one of my favorite sets of stamps from IOD called Typesetting. The reason I love this one so much is that you get uppercase, lowercase, and the numbers. Now, the key to using the stamps and getting a perfect impression like that is you want a good even amount of ink on your stamp. And then when you go to lay it down, you want to make sure you lay it and then hold it in place. And then what I recommend doing is rubbing over the entire actual stamp with your fingers without moving them. And I do that by holding it always in place just to make sure that it doesn't move or smear. And you get a really nice clean impression when you do that. After you use them, you do want to wash them with just a damp rag to get off any excess ink, and then just store them back on the plastic that it comes with. Now I am stamping JOY, so on each one of the jars, and I'm going to let it dry, and then we're going to come back and add a few embellishments. I picked up this ribbon, I think it was like last year, and I may have gotten it at Walmart. I do love ribbon that does have a wire in it. It just allows you to create a little bit of wave in the ribbon itself. I am cutting 3 pieces, all the same length, and what I plan on doing is just tying a little bit of ribbon around each of these jars. I just think these turned out super cute. You can put a little tea light in each one to light them up, or a little bit of greenery. I just think there's so many possibilities, and I think just the white with the pop of red and the ribbon just turned out perfect. For project 2, I thrifted these little plates. Actually, you guys, I thrifted an entire box full of plates. This size, I probably got 20 to 30 of this size plate, and then I ended up getting bowls and different bigger plates, and I have been using them for different projects, but I could not pass up a deal like that. All those plates for 99 cents. So I'm taking 3 of those today, and we're using Marquee, and I'm applying 2 coats of Marquee to each of the plates. I'm going to let them dry very thoroughly in between coats, and then my vision here is we're going to come back and we're going to hand stamp J on one, O on another, and Y on the third. So I'm going to let these dry, and then let's come back and we will hand stamp them. Again, I'm breaking out the typesetting stamp set, and I'm first laying out where I want to place each of the letters on the plates. That way it gives me a better visual when I go to pick them up, where I want to actually stamp them. And already as I'm laying these out, I'm just loving this. I'm using the white ink from IOD and just a little piece of the backing, and I'm placing the J down. And again, you just want to ink it up with enough ink, but just not that it's too juicy. And again, just lay it down, rub it all over, and you are going to get the cleanest impression. And I'm going to do that with all 3 letters. Let the ink dry very thoroughly, and then we're going to seal it. We are using Big Top to seal it. Now, the ink is permanent, so there's no need to seal that, but the DIY marquee does need to be sealed. Anytime you're using DIY paint, if you do not seal it with some type of poly, Big Top, or wax, it can be reactivated. So you definitely want to always seal your projects. If you watched my last Goodwill bin video, I thrifted a bunch of those cute little blocks at the bins. And I was like, what am I going to do with them? They are so darn cute. And then I saw the letters JOY for joy, and I knew right away what I planned on doing with it. So I ended up getting one of my tiniest little bits, and I drilled a hole in each one of these little tiny blocks. I made sure that the bottle brush tree actually fit inside, and it did. and I'm going to, like I said, just drill a little tiny hole in each one. And I picked up these bottle brush trees at Target. They were $1 each in the $1, $3, $5 spot right in the front of the store. I just thought they were the just cutest colors too. You guys know how much I love reds for the holidays, but these colors were so nice and relaxing as well. And I thought they looked really cute with the colors of the blocks. So I actually tried to, last year when I had a bunch of bottle brush trees, I was able to actually just unscrew the metal like wire from that base, and it did not work this year. So I actually had to break out my wire cutter and then cut the bases off. I'm using Gorilla wood glue, and I'm just dipping just the little base of the metal, of the bottle brush tree in the glue, and then sticking them right inside of the little hole that I had drilled, and it works perfect. I let them sit still for quite a bit, and they were totally solid. I was worried because it wasn't a huge base for that tree, but it was enough with that wood glue to hold them in place. So this was a simple flip, and I just love how these turned out. I think that I'll definitely be selling these like as a set because of the wording, but you could just put a little bottle brush on individual blocks and just sell them individually as well. For project 4, I actually featured this in one of my past videos, and these went over so well in at Cranberry Fest. It was actually one of the first items that sold, and all 3 sold at one time. So I thought I definitely want to show you guys this again. I had found these little glass jars at 2 different thrift stores, and I love the little tiny hobnail, I think is what they call it, the little bumps all over these jars. I think it just adds so much. So I'm using Marquee, and I'm adding 2 coats of Marquee to both of the jars, letting them dry very thoroughly in between coats, and then we're going to come back and we are going to wet distress them. Now, all the products that I'm using in today's video, you can find them on my website at www.sonnetsgardenblooms.com. So that's all the DIY paints, IOD, products, the recycled papers, all can be found on my website. We are now going to be wet distressing these jars, and I just take a damp rag like I've shown you guys in the past and just rub randomly all over it just to make a little bit of that detail pop out. I'm going to let these dry very thoroughly, and then we're going to come back with DIY's Big Top and completely seal them. I also let that dry very thoroughly, and then we're going to add the final details to these jars. I have this twine that I had picked up at Walmart. I use it for all different projects, and I love how thick it is. I'm wrapping several times around each of the jars and just tying a knot, and I'm doing that to both of them. And then I have a bunch of scrap pieces of drop cloth, and we are going to make some really cute tags for the jars. Here I'm using my second favorite IOD set of stamps. It's called Letterpress. I love this one because it does come with 3 different fonts, and these are perfect for all your small items. IOD does such a great job with the large letters for some of your larger pieces, But when they came out with this set, I was like, yes, you definitely came out with an amazing set to do little types of wording on your smalls. So here I'm pulling out the word joy, and I am going to stamp the word joy and then stamp the word hope. After I have both of those stamped, then I'm going to take my scissors and cut each of the tags out. And at first I had the tags a little bit wider. I thought they were just too chunky for the jars. So then I took them and I cut them down just a little bit more so that they were more size to the actual jar. Now I'm taking my punch, and I use this punch for everything. It takes a little bit of effort to punch the hole into the drop cloth because of the thickness, but with just a little bit of a couple punches, I was able to punch all the way through, creating a perfectly round hole. I untie the twine and I just run that twine right through that hole and attach it. And I love how these look, and I can't wait to get them into my booth. For my fifth and final project, we are going to do a book stack, and I want it to say joy to the world. Again, along the same lines with all the joy. So you start off by ripping off the top, the front and the back cover and along the binding. And you want to do that to all three books, and that's how you prep them. I should add, for all you book lovers, I am so sorry that we are doing this, but these books have definitely been read several times before I received them. Next, I am taking the recycled paper, and I've definitely used this for several projects. So you can see that there's pieces taken out, and I am just tracing around the top book because I want to put this, I'm going to decoupage it on the top of the book stack. Next, I'm using liquid patina, and I'm going to apply an even layer to the entire top of the book stack, and then lay down my decoupage paper, use the paintbrush to rub out all the wrinkles, and then just apply one even coat of the liquid patina on top of the paper to completely seal it, and then we're going to let it dry. I wanted to use the letterpress stamps for this project. Unfortunately, they were just a little too big, so I had some other stamps just laying around. Don't even know where I got these. They were just a letter set that I had, and I am hand stamping Joy to the World on each of these books. So here it is, Joy to the World, and now I'm taking that same twine and I am going to wrap the twine all the way around the book stack to hold them together. And then at the end, I just take some embellishments. I had some greenery, some red berries, and I just stuck them right in the top to completely finish the book stack off. And I love how easy and simple this project was, and it adds a pop of color and a little bit of joy to any vignette. I hope you enjoyed today's video. One word that always comes to mind when I think of the holidays is joy. I really think that people need to slow down and just find the joy in the holidays. I think everybody is like shop, 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 buy, buy, buy. You know, it just goes by so quick, and you just need to slow down and just really cherish the time that you have with your family and friends. So that really is what inspired today's video. So I decided to add a little joy to each one of my thrift flips. So I hope you enjoyed that. Now, this coming week, I am just gonna be just crazy busy, making sure all 3 of my booths are looking top notch, because this coming weekend, or like next weekend, is a widow's weekend, and that is when all the guys go out hunting in Wisconsin and all the gals go out shopping. So it is really considered one of the top shopping days here in Wisconsin. So I definitely want my booths looking top notch, and that's why I quickly came up with some more holiday DIY flips for my booths. Monday's video, I already have it all ready, and when I was pulling together these items, I grabbed my items for Monday's video, so I cannot wait to show you guys that. That will be a good one. And next week, I will be live over on Facebook on Monday and Wednesday. And then on one of my last lives, everyone decided that on I think it's Friday, December 2nd, we are gonna do an eggnog DIY craft night. So everybody's gonna grab a glass of eggnog. There were a few that said that they had never tried eggnog. So if you haven't, you guys need to come to my live, grab a little container of eggnog and try it, and let's craft away. Or DIY or flip an item, whatever you want to do that night. We're gonna work together and accomplish something great. So you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Bye.